Apple's new iPhone 13 is coming this fall. Here's what we know so far. 1. September 14th launch event. 2. 4 iPhone 13 models at the same iPhone 12 sizes. 3. Smaller notch on all 4 models. 4. Faster A15 Bionic chip. 5. Improved 5G with new modem. 6. Astrophotography feature and portrait mode video. 7. Dynamic 120Hz refresh rates for Pro model displays. 8. Always on display. 9. Satellite communications capability for emergency texts. 10. Improved ultra-wide lens on the Pro models. 11. Larger batteries expected on all 4 iPhone 13 models. 12. New pink color for iPhone 13 and Mini, Pro models get black and bronze options. The iPhone 13 launch is on. Apple just set a date for a new product launch, and we're pretty sure a new iPhone will lead the parade of devices Apple is sure to show off. Not that we're in the dark on what to expect, a steady drumbeat of leaks and rumors have given us a pretty complete picture of what the new iPhone will look like when we get to see it in the flesh next week. From everything we've heard so far, the iPhone 13 is set to offer a 120Hz LTPO display on both Pro models, improved battery life and substantial upgrades to the all-important cameras. That includes a new portrait video mode and astrophotography mode. Plus, the iPhone 13 could have satellite communications capability, though that feature may be just for emergencies. As for the iPhone 13's design, we have heard that the new iPhone's notch will finally shrink on every model. And yes, we're expecting 4 models, just like with the iPhone 12. We could finally see an always-on display gracing the new iPhone, too. Based on all the rumors and leaks out there already, here's everything we know about the new iPhone 13. iPhone 13 release date. Want to know more when we might see the iPhone 13? Apple just sent out invitations for a September 14th product event. The California streaming event is an online-only launch, and it gets underway at 1 p.m. ET/10 a.m. PT. There's no official indication that the iPhone 13 will be launched at this Sep 14 Apple event, but logic dictates that it's going to be the focal point. After all, Apple typically holds its iPhone launches in September, apart from last year's delayed iPhone 12 rollout. As for when the phone might come out, a report from Front Page Tech says that the iPhone 13 release date will be September 24th with pre-orders starting on September 17th. Those dates are in line with the September 14th unveiling. Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, who's also wired into Apple's plans, has previously said that the phone 13 will lead a parade of Apple product launches in the fall. iPhone 13 price. As for how much the iPhone 13 will cost, we'd expect the prices to track with the iPhone 12 range, $699, $799, $999 and $1,099, respectively. Apple tends to keep its pricing for each new generation of iPhone relatively close to the one that preceded it. It's currently unclear whether this will affect the iPhone 13 or wait until the iPhone 14. As for your iPhone 13 options, look for the same 4 sizes as the iPhone 12, a 5.4-inch iPhone 13 mini, a 6.1-inch iPhone 13, a 6.1-inch iPhone 13 Pro and a 6.7-inch iPhone 13 Pro Max. The new iPhone showed up in regulatory filings with the Eurasian Economic Commission. That filing included 7 models, though that could include different configurations. Even though the iPhone 12 mini hasn't sold well, reports indicate Apple will still release an iPhone. iPhone 13 design. A last-minute iPhone 13 Pro leak of a dummy unit appears to confirm one of the biggest design changes, which is a smaller notch on the front of the display. Another set of iPhone 13 dummy units have gotten the hands-on treatment by Apple Insider, and they show some of the biggest possible design changes. This includes moving the speaker towards the top of the device, a new diagonal camera arrangement for the regular iPhone 13 and a larger camera module for the iPhone 13 Pro. The SIM card tray is apparently moving further down as well, and the power buttons could be shifting down a bit, too. A separate iPhone 13 case leak seemingly confirms many of the above changes and includes possible dimensions of the new iPhones as well as the camera modules and notch. In fact, the notch could be 25% smaller. We've seen other alleged iPhone 13 dummy units leaked by Sonny Dixon. They show only the back of Apple's lineup, but they do seem to line up with the rumors that the iPhone 13 will have a diagonal camera arrangement. In addition, the iPhone 13 Pro Max could be slightly larger than its predecessor. In fact, an alleged iPhone 13 Pro case shows a considerably larger camera module, though this has not been confirmed. A variety of leaks and reports have the iPhone 13 tipped to come with a smaller display notch, after several generations of using the same, somewhat bulky notch. Most people will welcome such a change, though a few Apple observers are wondering if a smaller notch is enough to satisfy iPhone fans. Apple will apparently achieve this notch downsizing on the new iPhone by combining the currently separated infrared flood illuminator, sensor and dot projector, which make up the iPhone 12's Face ID unlocking system, into a single module. With 2 fewer sensors required, we should see a much narrower notch on the iPhone 13. The earpiece speaker could no longer be housed in the notch, moving instead to the top bezel, according to an iPhone 13 Pro Max dummy unit showing off the new design and smaller notch. Another iPhone 13 Pro dummy unit, sourced by Mako Takara, also shows a smaller notch up front, using that same design. Leaked glass screen protectors seemingly confirm the change. That iPhone 13 Pro Max dummy unit suggested this year's phone will be slightly thicker than the iPhone 12 Pro Max. Subsequent iPhone 13 schematics reveal that will be the case for all iPhone 13 models. They are thicker than their iPhone 12 counterparts with larger camera arrays. A clutch of leaks and rumors had suggested the iPhone 13 might get an under-display take on Touch ID. More recent reports cast a lot of doubt on this rumor, and some say Apple won't bring under-display Touch ID until next year's iPhone 14. Still, at a time when mask wearing is prolific, having a secondary form of biometric security would be very welcome. The most recent report comes from Mark Gurman at Bloomberg, who says that Apple won't be delivering in-display Touch ID to the new iPhone 13. According to the report, while Apple had tested in-screen Touch ID for the next flagship iPhones, it won't make the cut this year. Gurman believes Apple is all in on Face ID for its higher-end iPhones, and its long-term goal is to implement Face ID in the display itself. This might not be the best news, but the iPhone 13 could get an improved version of Face ID that will make it easier for users to unlock their phone when wearing a face mask. It may not be as good as having a secondary biometric scanner, but at least Apple could be reacting to the effects of the coronavirus pandemic on our daily behaviors. iPhone 13 colors. An earlier iPhone 13 colors rumor points to 4 color options for the iPhone 13 Pro. These include black, silver, rose gold, and sunset gold. More recently, a Ukrainian e-commerce site posted colors and storage options for the iPhone 13, with the Pro models coming in black, silver, gold, and a new bronze option. We've heard that the regular iPhone 13 could come in pink. While that rumor had been based on a render, it's apparently accurate, as that's one of 6 color options for the iPhone 13 and iPhone 13 mini listed at the Ukrainian website. The other colors are returning options from the iPhone 12, white, black, blue, purple, and product red. We have an iPhone 13 colors roundup if you want to learn more. iPhone 13 display. With Apple keeping the same display sizes as the iPhone 12, the company could make other changes to the phone's screens. A report from ET News says that Apple will adopt a 120Hz refresh rate for the 6.1-inch iPhone 13 Pro and 6.7-inch iPhone 13 Pro Max, with leaker Ice Universe also naming the iPhone 13 Pro Max as having 120Hz. This will allow for smoother scrolling as well as improved gameplay and video playback. A newer leak added fuel to the rumors that the iPhone 13 will have an LTPO panel, and that Samsung Display will be the company to make it. In addition, Samsung is supplying circuit boards to Apple to connect the display to the phone's motherboard, more proof that an LTPO screen is in the works. The nature of an LTPO panel means it doesn't need extra components under the display to enable an adaptive refresh rate, meaning phones with such screens can sport a thin chassis. In the iPhone 13, an LTPO display could enable the phone to not only have a super smooth refresh rate but also keep the neat frame of the iPhone 12. Another benefit to LTPO is improved power consumption. A Digitimes report claims the LTPO displays that Samsung and LG are building for the iPhone 13 Pro models will reduce power consumption by 15% to 20%. Other leaks tip the iPhone 13 to use an always-on display, something the LTPO tech could certainly facilitate. A video shows how an always-on display for the iPhone could work. An always-on display would finally give Apple's iPhones a feature that Android phones have had for some time, letting you glance at the time, battery life, and perhaps notifications. iPhone 13 specs. This new system on a chip, SoC, could be a reasonable upgrade on the A14 Bionic, likely boosting overall performance and efficiency. According to one alleged A15 Bionic benchmark, the iPhone 13 could beat all Android phones in terms of graphics performance. According to LeakerTron, on Geekbench's Manhattan 3.1, the Apple A15 GPU hit a peak of 198 FPS. After throttling, the GPU clocked down and frame rates dropped to between 140 to 150. For comparison, last year's A14 Bionic couldn't exceed frame rates of 120 FPS. A bigger upgrade doesn't look likely until the iPhone 14, when Apple could potentially make a chip based on a 4nm process node. Currently, the A14 Bionic inside the iPhone 12 is a 5nm chip. Apple has reportedly ordered more than 100 million A15 chips, which signals even larger demand for the new iPhone 13 than the iPhone 12. On the storage front, we can expect the iPhone 13 to range from 64GB and 512GB, though a Wedbush report has the iPhone 13 slated to get up to 1TB of storage. That would give it the most onboard storage any iPhone has ever had. However, a premature listing on a Ukrainian e-commerce site, which we don't know is legit, has the iPhone 13 and iPhone 13 mini listed as having 64GB of storage on the base models. We really hope that isn't the case, as 4GB is a measly amount of storage space, and we're hoping Apple adopts 128GB as the standard amount. The iPhone 13 could also get a big boost in terms of wireless connectivity. Documentation of Apple's settlement with Qualcomm revealed that Apple has plans to use Qualcomm's X65G modem in upcoming iPhones, which will likely include the iPhone 13. Apple-built modems won't arrive until 2023. The 5nm X60 modem can integrate directly into a phone's chipset, meaning a smaller footprint and lower battery drain. Plus, the 5G performance should be better, as the modem can combine mmWave and sub-6 GHz 5G networks simultaneously. Furthermore, the iPhone 13 is tipped to come with Wi-Fi 6E, a variation on the Wi-Fi 6 standard that will support even faster wireless speeds. A Digitimes report hinted that the iPhone 13 could adopt liquid crystal polymer circuit boards for imaging purposes, resulting in faster data transmission. The addition of LCP boards, coupled with 5G connectivity, has the potential to accelerate applications like live streaming or augmented reality. iPhone 13 cameras. We've heard plenty about the iPhone 13 cameras, starting with reports that the iPhone 13 Pro and iPhone 13 Pro Max will offer a new 6-element ultra-wide lens. The current iPhone 12 Pro models sport a 5-element ultra-wide-angle lens. The more elements in a lens, the better the image quality tends to be as a rule. Leaker Max Weinbach has tipped several camera upgrades, saying that all sensors across the board now receive at least 15% more light. He also claims that the ultra-wide camera, perhaps just on the Pros, will let in 40% more light. Weinbach tips an improved night mode as well that can capture stars and a portrait video mode called cinematic video. Apple analyst Ming-Chi Kuo also claims that the ultra-wide camera on the iPhone 13 Pro series will offer autofocus for the first time. This should result in sharper images. Unfortunately, Kuo says this upgrades won't be coming to the rest of the lineup until the iPhone 14. A separate report by Digitimes says that Apple is increasing its order of VCMs, voice coil motors, by as much as 40%, which help camera lenses focus. A leaked iPhone 13 Pro Max dummy unit shown off by Unbox Therapy features an iPhone with noticeably bigger lenses. That should let in more light to improve photos in low light settings. Another photo allegedly of the iPhone 13 Pro, this time shared by leaker Majin Buu on Twitter, backs this up, showing what appears to be a bigger camera module overall. That squares with other reports claiming the iPhone 13's camera will get a big hardware boost. Analyst Ross Young has predicted that the new Apple phone will come with larger sensors for starters. Larger sensors mean larger pixels for increased light intake, which should produce better quality photos. Unfortunately, it's not clear which iPhone 13s are set to take advantage of these sensors, though the iPhone 12 Pro Max featured a larger sensor when it debuted in the fall. On top of that, Ming-Chi Kuo has predicted the iPhone 13 Pro and 13 Pro Max will both include larger apertures on their ultra-wide cameras. Kuo said that both phones will come with an f/1.8 aperture, up from the f/2.4 on the iPhone 12. Paired with a 6-element lens, that means more light will come in through the camera and improve picture quality. All iPhone 13 models are expected to gain sensor shift stabilization, a feature currently available in only the iPhone 12 Pro Max. That's an improvement over optical image stabilization and should lead to smoother video among other benefits. One interesting rumor that has come up suggests Apple is looking for suppliers for a folded lens camera that will improve the iPhone 13's optical camera zoom. The periscope-like design means the telephoto lens would be stacked vertically, instead of horizontally, meaning you can increase the optical magnification without increasing the size of the phone. It's possible, though, that this feature won't surface until the iPhone 14 next year. The iPhone 13 is also tipped to get camera upgrades that allow it to better shoot the night sky, as well as deliver portrait mode videos. An upgraded ultra-wide camera on all iPhone 13 models could facilitate a dedicated astrophotography mode. And much like how night mode is enabled when you're in a low-light environment, you'll activate this mode when you point the phone at the stars or the moon. Portrait video mode could offer a blurred background on video footage when enabled. It will also reportedly let you customize the depth of field after shooting so you can dial in the blurred effect after the fact. There are no specifics given on whether this can be used on any of the iPhone 13's cameras or just a select few. One final addition could be the inclusion of LiDAR sensors on the iPhone 13 and 13 mini, rather than just the Pro models. This sensor helps with autofocus and our performance. Leaker Dylan on Twitter says LiDAR will be a Pro-only feature, but in its latest report, Wedbush has insisted that LiDAR is a go for the iPhone 13 and iPhone 13 mini. We take a closer look at rumored iPhone 13 camera improvements and what they'll mean for your photos. iPhone 13 satellite communications. The iPhone 13 has been tipped to get satellite communication, a first for any iPhone. Made possible by the customized Qualcomm X60 baseband chip. Such a feature would enable iPhone 13 users to make calls or send messages without a 4G or 5G cellular connection. That would be a boon for people who regularly find themselves out of range of a cell tower, say if they're on a tip-up in some mountains. Apple analyst Ming Chip Kuo claims that Globalstar is the LEO, low Earth orbit, satellite service provider that's most likely to cooperate with Apple to provide a satellite system for the next iPhone to tap into. However, it's not clear how the customer would be billed. Perhaps it could be through a relationship with their existing carrier. In a report from Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, it's been claimed the iPhone 13's alleged satellite connectivity will only be available in select markets and even then will be used for emergency messaging services. Given the somewhat vagueness of this rumor, we'd not be too surprised if the hardware isn't ready for the iPhone 13 and instead is something for the iPhone 14. iPhone 13 and iOS 15. Each new iPhone brings a new version of iOS with its launch. The top iOS 15 features include updates to FaceTime that will let you watch videos and share content with others, a new focus mode for managing notifications, and improvements to Maps, Messages, Wallet, Weather and other built-in apps. Some iOS 15 features will require an A12 Bionic processor or later, but that shouldn't be a problem for the iPhone 13 and its fancy new Apple chip. We're waiting to find out about iPhone 13 specific features hidden in iOS 15. One feature we'd love to see, which recently appeared in an Apple patent, is predictive charging notifications. This system would learn your phone usage and charging habits, much like optimized charging does already, but then warn you to charge it up before you drain the battery too far, while you're still in the right place to plug it in.